Habs, Penguins. Crosby, Malkin, they cook up when they're together. Even in their older years, if they go on a run, they can seriously put together some serious fucking games and performances. But then you got to look on the other side. If Carey Price goes into his fucking mode where he tunnel visions, he can steal 2 games in a series just like that.
Sure, but we've been saying
and in a qualifying series, what is it, Derry? You only have to win 3, right?
Okay, so as it stands, the qualifying series is best 3 of 5, and then each subsequent series is going to be best of 7.
So if you have Gallagher, Max Domi, just those 2 alone, if they just go in and they absolutely have a goal and a vision, they get hot, it's a problem. We're not going to
Not only that, but a lot of people are not taking into account that, and there's a very good chance that he's going to pull a fucking Nazem Kadri. There's no question about that. But Domi has never been in the playoffs. This is a player that very much performs well under pressure. Okay,
I was going to add to that. I was going to say there's a lot of players that they don't have playoff experience under their belt. It kind of shakes them up. But I think like Max Domi's hungry for that, so he's not going to disappoint.
If you look at how Max Domi played in the World Junior Championship a few years ago in Montreal, okay, and this was completely unforeseen, but to have an entire crowd in Montreal chanting the name Domi was insane. And not only that, a lot of people are not taking into account, we've seen him once in the playoffs that he performed like a fucking monster, like Plekanec on crack was Arturi Lehkonen. He is going to get in there and he's going to shut down one of either Crosby or Malkin because he's going to be frustrating the shit out of them. And if you look at Nick Suzuki last year, he was absolutely ridiculous in the playoffs for juniors. So you have a lot of question marks and you have a lot of instances of, are these players going to be able to translate their previous playoff success, even though it wasn't in the NHL, but to the NHL? And given that you're talking much younger players under a microscope who perform well under pressure, playing against, sorry, Ryan, you're not going to like to hear this, playing against Sidney Crosby, who has the propensity to disappear in the playoffs and has done so multiple times, and Evgeny Malkin, who is pretty much Alex Kovalev with a little bit more size and a little bit more talent, who may or may not decide to show up, I think that the edge goes to Montreal. And I really, really, really am not saying this from a biased perspective, but I don't think that Matt Murray has any interest in being in Pittsburgh anymore, given the amount of criticism that has been thrown his way, not only by the media, but by the fans. He's definitely not going to be the thorn in Montreal's side. If anything, he's going to be very frustrated, and he doesn't have anybody with experience to help back him up. You're talking a best-of-5 series. A best-of-5 series could very easily go in the direction of Montreal. Very easily.
You know what? I'm gonna leave the statement of that as saying Montreal goes the distance with Pittsburgh and takes it in the 5th game.
Yeah. And I don't like to trust the experts. I don't. I really, because all the experts last year said that Tampa Bay was going to win, but it's really fucking weird to see right now that Montreal is actually the favorite in that series.
And honestly, I'm a big underdog kind of guy, and I just have a feeling like a team. This is how the Habs are probably looking at it. They were not in the playoff picture before this. They've been presented a golden opportunity. I don't even think they're going to go into it with that much expectation, which could be better sometimes when you just play the game and see what happens. Like, for instance, the Leafs, they're probably fucking sweating a little bit more than the Habs are. Yeah. The Habs are like, hey, we went from not being in the playoffs to getting to play a qualifier round. Let's fucking play hard, have some fun with this, and if we get into the playoffs, we at least gain some more momentum and experience. So I don't think the Habs are going into this in a back against the wall way. I think
there's no pressure.
There's no pressure. There's no hype to live up to this season. I think they're going to go in there. I think they're going to shock some people. What I can see happening, though, in typical Habs fashion with the way the dynamic's been, they get the whole city excited on that qualifying round, and then they get bounced in the first actual playoff round.
The thing is, it's interesting because I don't know who we would end up being placed against next, because according to what I read.
Yeah, because there's going to be series
Round
going on
robin
for
to the
seeding.
top 4 for seeding.
Yeah, they're reseeding now. Every single round is being reseeded.